Welcome back to Stuck in the Middle.
Where we ain't young, but we ain't dead yet.
You got that right. And we might be getting a little forgetful. I'm not sure. Well, howdy, partners. We're here today. We have on our vacation hats, and we are ready to roll because guess what?
It's vacation time.
It is vacation time. I am leaving Friday, and I can't wait to go.
I know, I'm jealous.
Get the heck out of Dodge for a little bit. So we wanted today just to talk about, and we really want to hear feedback from all of you on some of your favorite vacation destinations, funny stories, just things that have happened. But today we thought that we would share some of our past stories, right, Julie?
Yeah.
And just try to talk about having fun, going on vacation. It's that time of year.
Yeah, it's all of it's our trips, our favorite girl trips. It's our favorite vacations. Some of our favorite couples vacation, we said.
Yep.
Our family vacations, and just talk about vacation time.
That sounds great. Well, why don't you start us off, and what category do we want to pick in vacations?
Okay, so why don't we start off with our favorite couples vacation?
Couples meaning totally by yourself couple, or couples with friends couples, or does it matter?
It doesn't really matter, but just like you and your husband, be it either by yourselves or with other couples, don't really matter. It's a couples vacation. So
Okay.
you have a
So you
story?
go. You go ahead.
Okay,
You go ahead. Let me
okay.
think on this one. Let me think.
I've thrown her for a loop, apparently.
But let
so-
me just think.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, for me, well, there's several. There are a couple. So I'll just talk about a couple of them. One of my all-time favorites for myself and my husband, David, we had gone to stay over in St. Thomas. And so we went over, we packed our snorkeling gear, we had it all going, and we went over and stayed actually with one of my cousins who was a traveling nurse at the time, and made a couple trips over there. But anyway, it was beautiful. The Virgin Islands are gorgeous. It's beautiful water. The British Virgin Islands in particular, they're just beautiful. It's like the Bahamian water that is just crystal clear, gorgeous. But anyway, so one of my fondest couples, memory vacation is David and I we went every day to a different beach, and we snorkeled together at
Now,
a
see, I can't
different
snorkel.
beach. Well, I'm
Ugh.
not, okay.
Like, can you do that? Will you put it in your mouth and breathe out of that hole? I get claustrophobia.
Well, first of all, I can't dive under. I'll choke to death. I don't get the blow in the water out the start. Yeah, it's not pretty. I'm not going to say, and I have to give myself an inner pep talk. Like, really?
Yeah.
When you go down, know, and all you hear is that. So I have to give
Ew, and just the taste of that rubber.
and the inner pep talk, but not to take away. So we went, and we did. We went with my cousin and all. We drove the beaches and went to all these isolated, most beautiful beaches. And I can remember because I was afraid cat and scared. Really thinking sharks were coming for me, jaws, And so it was just romantic. It doesn't have to be the most expensive trips ever that bring you the most pleasure. Sometimes it's the most simplest things in life. And so David and I, we held hands and we snorkeled, and he just kept me kind of close to him, and we held hands, and we did a picnic lunch every day somewhere different. So for a week, we had a week of snorkeling, and that was one of my favorite couples trips, along with then totally separate from that, David and I also did a trip up to North Carolina.
Nice. Where in North Carolina?
Just he and I in West Jefferson, up there in that area, and we traveled by car, and it was going to see the leaves change, and every day we would set off and open up the sunroof, and it was like the beginning of a movie where you see like the leaves trickle down these winding roads
beautiful.
and all. and it was cold. It was like in the 30s.
Oh, wow.
And just stopping by little road stands and getting hot apple cider.
Nice.
And he and I would be along the Blue Ridge Mountains or
Oh,
whatever. And so we would pull over on the lookouts and sit at the picnic tables. And like I said, some of my most favorite couples trips were the simplest trips of all. Not the most glamorous. It was about that moment and taking that moment in.
And you may talk about it later. I'm surprised you didn't mention like Savannah, because I know y'all love to go there, but that might be a different trip. Okay, because I was going to be like, I know you love going up to that area, Charleston, Savannah,
I do.
and that area.
I do. I haven't.
All right.
That's going to be in some of my other categories.
Okay.
But since you mentioned it, which does bring me back to a thought of David and I in Savannah, is going. We stayed in a VRBO that was down on Forsyth Park. They've made them into apartments now, but it was just beautiful. That's my favorite park. It's where the locals go, and it has that big iconic fountain there.
That's not the one where Forrest Gump was sitting on the park bench, was it?
No,
Okay.
That's in a different park, but in Savannah.
Yes.
So Forsyth is that big, beautiful fountain. In case we ever do trivia, I think we got that fountain from France.
Okay. There you go again. All right.
Okay, well, I'm full of trivia.
You sure are.
Useless, but I'm full of trivia.
You are.
So anyway, we went there, and there's a place back there. It's beautiful. It's called the Mansion. It's a hotel, boutique hotel, and it is gorgeous. And we stayed just across the back street. And David and I walked over one night just to have cocktails there, and we ended up upstairs, and they had a little 3-piece band, and he and I danced the night away.
Fun.
And it was just so random and beautiful.
Those are the best stops.
Those are just,
That's fun.
That's
so
so
fun.
You?
I don't know. First of all, we love traveling, as you know, and we go a lot. I love to travel. That's honestly, for me, I would have to say, if I could give any advice, even to the younger viewers that are out there, it's enjoy your life now while you can. I'm not saying don't be responsible and have a little bit of retirement tucked away, but travel when you can travel, because I know so many people that wait until they're retired and then they're too old and tired.
Or they become sick.
Or they're sick and they can't.
So you need to go.
Don't put it off. Do it now. That's my motto anyway.
That's great advice.
That's my motto.
That's
for sure.
Because you can't go back in time, everybody. So you got to go and do what you can do. And that doesn't mean like when you're young and you have babies and you think, well, I can't go on these big trips. You can do day trips to the beach. You can, we live in South Florida. We have everything here. So go and do with your babies. Go and take these trips.
I just think that that's so important, and it gives you a whole different level of education about different parts of the world, different parts of the country, how different people do things. And there's nothing, even to me, with your kids as they're being raised, better educationally. See, I could do, I might not know where fountains and things like that are, and St. Augustine and da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah,
but
guess we're going to do a trip to St. Augustine.
Yes, we are.
You and I.
But I do think that just traveling is so important, not to get yourself in debt to do it, which, by the way, sidebar story, my husband should have known when he married me that he was in trouble by marrying me when I had a trip planned to New Orleans with my girlfriends, or making my car payment. And he's like, okay, so what's your decision? And I said, well, of course I'm going to New Orleans. I'll figure out my car payment when I get back. And now every time if we're struggling to pay something, he's like, I should have known when I married you. But I was like, well, what you see is what you get.
Well,
so
they're not going to repo after one payment being late.
And we're good. But point is, don't go into Hawk to do trips, but if you can, it's worth it. So to get back to my answer of favorite couples trip, I would probably say it was like 7 years ago. My husband and I finally did a trip to Italy together. We had not done an out of country trip other than like Bahamas and things like that our whole married life, and we did, and we loved it. We flew into Rome.
Nice.
And spent a few days there first. Absolutely loved the food, loved the people. It was truly like what you see in the movies with the Trevetti fountain. It's a beautiful fountain in Rome, but more importantly, there's all these great cafes in the area. And I mean, the food is delicious. The cars are so super small, and everybody over there I felt like was super fit. But I know why. Because you would see people dressed up in professional business suits, men, women in suits, hose, pantyhose, heels, just riding their bicycles everywhere. Because Lord knows you can't drive a normal car over there. I mean, the roads are like that narrow. But we did the Colosseum. I loved Rome. And then we took a cruise out of Rome and went all around different areas of Italy, of France. And I highly recommend that, and I'll tell you why. Because, again, the countries are so close there that their countries are kind of like our states or even our cities as far as distance. And it was great because then you're not packing and unpacking your suitcase everywhere you want to go.
That's nice.
And the ship would stop, it would dock at like 7, 8 in the morning, and then sometimes it wouldn't set sail again until like 11 o'clock that night. So it was a floating hotel. It was a different kind of cruise than like a Caribbean cruise where you're out doing limbo by the pool. But we did do that one day. We missed a whole country, and I can't tell you which one because we wanted our limbo day by the pool.
I think we could do some trivia there, but okay.
So that was a great couples trip. Another great couples trip that we've done have been, we're fortunate enough to live in South Florida and fortunate enough to have friends that have boats. We don't, but they do, which is the best kind of boat to own, or friends to have too.
Yes.
And going over on a private boat to like the Bahamas, but the outer area of the Bahamas, like Hope Town. I know you have family over there.
Well, and that's going to be one of my stories I'm going to talk about.
We ran into you,
I know,
ironically,
Green Turtle.
in Green Turtle in the Bahamas on 2 completely separate trips.
Going over on 2 boats. Different trips, different times, and we all end up on this little island called Green Turtle.
Yes,
and
crazy.
It's just crazy.
So that would be my probably favorite couples trip, but I have to be honest, and I tell my kids this too. I feel like it's very important for married couples to spend a weekend away at least once a year by yourselves, not even with other friends. We tend to want to do things with a lot of our friends.
I know.
But it's so important. I don't care if you go to the next town over and get a hotel room and don't tell your kids and your family and friends where you are. It's important to have that connection time that sometimes we don't even think we need.
Yes.
But we do.
We do need that. We do need to reconnect, and it keeps you reminded of why you fell in love with one another,
Absolutely.
Which leads into, what about, let's talk about some funny stories on our trips.
Oh, Lord.
So, I'll start off with a couple, then you can do a couple. I have some notes on my phone that my husband did send me.
Oh, that's funny.
But and driving over here today, he and I were talking, and I just got laughing about different things. Just talking about getting away for weekends, and my husband and I love to do that. And one of my very favorite places really is right outside our neighborhood, so to speak. But I love Longboat Key. And
I've never been.
Oh,
never been.
It's my happy place. I say all the time, if we ever hit the lotto, I'm getting a condo. Just saying, Mommy's getting a condo. And I love it because the beach is beautiful. Longboat Key is not like this party happening place. You can make your own party wherever you go. But I love it because it is beautiful there, and you have St. Armand's Circle,
Oh, I've been to
just right
Sarasota.
there. Yeah, so
Okay,
Sarasota and St. Armand's Circle, it's bougie.
Okay.
And that's why I love it, because I like to go out to eat and shop. That's part of my vacation.
Me too.
I like to eat, shop, drink, and have a good time.
Me
and
too.
Relax. Those are my three top things.
That's
right?
probably why I don't know a lot about historical sites at these places, because I can tell you every great restaurant to go to,
Exactly.
where to go,
Exactly.
with places with drinks that are specialty made,
Yeah.
and great shopping areas.
Well, that's
so
it.
there you go.
That's it. And on St. Armand's Circle, our favorites, the Columbia Restaurant.
Oh, I love that salad.
The salad.
That
1905 salad, favorite. If you haven't ever had it, you have to go get it.
Yes.
We've eaten about at all the Columbia restaurants. One in St. Augustine when we do our trip.
Okay.
We eat there, Ybor City. But there at St. Armand's Circle, they also have a Columbia restaurant. Then there are many other restaurants out on the island that are superb. But we went, and David and I went over, because we like to go over because it's a quick getaway, couple hour drive. We're there before sunset Friday after work. We've got the cooler packed. We've got our stuff ready to check in. No high resort place, because we want to take our cooler down to the beach, you know, with our stuff in it. So we laughed because we went down there and one weekend and we were set and ready. So we had a little quick breakfast in our room, you know, probably bagels and fruit from Publix and all of our stuff. And we did that, and then mixed up a jug of our drink, which for me, it was vodka, Tito's. Strawberry lemonade, some grenadine, and fruit slung in there, and I packed it up in an orange juice bottle. So okay, I'm ready. I got it in my cooler. Got my shades.
You had your fruit for the day. You didn't even need to buy lunch.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
My kind of lunch.
Had on that blue hat I had on a minute ago, and here we go right down to the beach. Set up the umbrella and our chairs, and by 10:30. We had probably a 2:00 buzz about 10:30 in the morning. And we tore down, my husband and I, out in the water. And our favorite thing to do, and it was so much fun. It's just that's so stupid, but whatever. We were tore down out in the water, and we love to watch people walk by barefoot on the shells, because here they come, and we go, here they come, oh, here they come, here they come, here they come, and they're going, oh, walking across it. We just were drunk and laughing. I mean, it was just so simple and funny. It was just a funny story for a funny weekend getaway that we made fun of people getting their feet hurt on shells.
Poor things. Yeah. Golly.
Whatever. I mean, that's just a funny story. You tell a funny story, and then I'll go back to another.
Oh my gosh, funny story. Well, every day is probably a funny story with me.
True.
Well, my kids will tell you, and it wasn't funny to me, but we were out in Austin. This was just like a year ago. And it was in the month of June, I believe. We were actually doing a mother-daughter trip with a couple of our friends and their adult daughters. Had a wonderful weekend in Austin. Had never been there.
I remember when you went.
Well, we went to go see the bats fly. I'm sure people that are familiar with Austin know what I'm talking about. You go to this bridge and you look for the bats. Well, first of all, that was like an hour and a half ordeal. And first of all,
the bats?
well, yeah, and I'm thinking I'm gonna see wings flying over my head, and like I'm a little scared, whatever.
Yeah.
It was just this black little shade of something, like it looked like a dark cloud for a minute, and I was like, okay, well, been there, done that again.
Yeah.
I'm not all about the sightseeing. I'm about the eating and the drinking
and shopping.
So we got so hot that day. It was just one of those sweltering days. Bottom line is then we go to dinner, and just FYI, this particular day we had not been really eating and drinking all day because it was just one of those days that we didn't. But we go to dinner. We walk to dinner from where we were staying. Have dinner. I order a drink, and I'll never forget. It was a Tito's soda with. Don't ask me why. I asked for a slice of cucumber. in it. I've never asked for cucumber, and I think an orange. I don't know.
What?
I think I'm fruited out after all this time. That's why I was on the pickle martinis. I'm at pickles, okay? Right now.
You are. I'm
Okay,
still on the fruit.
But point being is so, and even during dinner, I told my friends and my daughter, I said, I'm not feeling great. I'm just not feeling really good. So I literally had like half a drink. We're walking back to our hotel, and we're on this cute little avenue, neighborhood street. Kids are eating their ice cream, sitting on the sidewalk with their parents.
Take a picture.
And my kids are saying, Mom, how embarrassing, you're not feeling good and all that. I said, oh my gosh, I literally, right then, don't ask me why, I'm walking and just, yeah. And I don't stop. I don't skip a beat. I keep walking, and there's plants, and I just go, bah, keep walking, bah. And my kids are looking at me like, Mom, you have, and I'm like, what am I going to do? Stop at the ice cream table?
You're
walking and just vomiting on the street.
Projectile vomiting.
Yeah, just bah, and walk.
Oh.
I don't know what happened to me. You know what I've decided, though?
It's that cucumber.
Well,
It's a
that,
cucumber.
but then there was a time even in Vegas that I got deathly ill, and I did the same thing in the Bellagio Hotel. Again, it wasn't from drinking. It's like food poisoning or something happened. I don't know what happened. And there was this beautiful encased restaurant with glass, and in the middle of the glass was running water, and like it had like aqua etched into the glass. Again, something hit me, and there were people everywhere in this hotel.
God,
I could not
Traci.
find a garbage can.
So what'd you do?
I walked by that glass wall, and I just went, all in between the water in the glass case. And I mean, like to this day, I don't think I can eat in Bellagio. I apologize, Bellagio. This was many years ago. Y'all probably don't even have that restaurant anymore. But I don't know what happens to me. But I have a talent for walking and just being able to not skip a beat and just
God.
doing it. But that was out of desperation.
You have a talent. That is a talent.
I have seen a GI doctor, by the way, because I've had some issues, as y'all know, with my hospital story lately.
Yeah, well, that does take talent because I'm not that was like a petite, dainty vomiting thing for me. It's not so pretty.
Can I just say one more thing? And this doesn't have anything to do with me.
You can say
okay, but I will say
everything.
this about funny travel stories, but this isn't, well, you'll see. It's not really funny, and it wasn't my travel story, but at one time in my life, I was a travel agent, right?
I forgot that.
I told y'all college what my thing. I went to 17 colleges and finally ended up with a 2-year degree. In the meantime, I was a travel agent because I thought, you know what? I'd be like, Julie on the Love Boat. I'd get to go on all these free trips, be the one to come back and tell people. Again, right up my alley. I love to travel.
Yes.
Well, first of all, at that time, no lie, I made $5 an hour. I could have been paid more at Burger King.
You're not traveling.
And I didn't go on one free trip. But this couple came in. They were young, married, and they had saved up their money for this major trip to I can't remember at the time. I'm going to say France. I don't know. I mean, I planned it with them for months, right?
I remember this.
Oh my gosh. The day of their trip, I get a phone call at the travel agency, and it's the couple. They're very nice. They said, Traci, we're at the Atlanta airport, and we have our passports, but you did not tell us that we needed a special travel visa to get into France during that time. I go, I didn't know. I did not know what to do. They ended up sidebarring their trip to Scotland. All I remember is I wrote those people a letter and said, I will babysit for you the rest of your life. I'm so sorry. I don't know what to do. It was horrible. They could have been so ugly and mean to me. Can you imagine a trip of a lifetime being planned to go to a country and you get to your airport and they tell you you can't go?
Was that your last?
I quit.
That's too much pressure.
Anyway, that's my funny travel story that doesn't relate to me.
That is too much pressure. Another funny story I have, and once again, we had gone to Costa Rica. We went to Costa Rica. We traveled there probably 10 plus years. Did another trip to Nicaragua. I mean, great. Really exotic, beautiful,
I hear
trips.
Costa Rica's gorgeous.
We had a ball there. My dad's brother lived there, and so we would go there and we had a ball. So, anyways, we went one year and we decided we were going to go do, while we were there, the bullfights.
Oh, yeah.
So, it really didn't end up being like what you think in your head as a bullfight, but it's more like the county fair and the whole bull riding. And so here we go, and we're with all Costa Ricans. So we were the only blonde-haired people.
Oh, wow.
In there.
Yeah.
And the arena is held together like a tuna fish can. It was round, it was small, and packed full of people.
Oh, wow.
Well, of course, they zone in on us. Well, because here we are.
The blondes.
The blonde group there. And they wanted my husband to get down in the bullfighting ring. And they kept saying, "Oye, gringo, come on, gringo." And I'm going, no, David, you're not climbing down in that ring.
No, gringo, no go.
Yeah, no. And the guy comes over to the fist, and I'll never forget, he goes, "Welcome to my jungle." And he goes, "Come on." And everybody started going, "Gringo."
Oh my God.
I said, "David, sit your ass down. You are not getting out there." That was it. He did not do it, but it was the funniest.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
So funny.
That's funny. Oh my
So
gosh.
those are the funny ones. Family.
Now, I was just going to say, we can't leave our podcast without talking about family.
Yes, because we are about our family.
Yes.
So tell your
My definite favorite family vacation is when Hayden, our youngest daughter, graduated high school. The summer she graduated, we went out west to Big Sky, Montana, and it was actually in the summer because I know a lot of people go in the winter time, snow skiing and things like that. I'm not a real cold weather person, so anyway, we went in the summer, and it was truly a magical trip. We went into Yellowstone.
I want to do that too.
We did that 2 full days. We did a guided tour with like Old Faithful and the lava area, just the Grand Canyon that you see. And then it was just beautiful. We were right on the Galacton River, and all I know is that for me, when I tell you that I know why people are tree huggers that live out west, I would be one too, because of the majesty of what you see is unbelievable. I was also so proud of myself because I'm not athletic. I think we've talked about that. I don't own tennis shoes. I had to borrow my daughter's, but now I have ridden a horse before when I was in 6th grade before this trip.
Oh, wow.
But we went horseback riding. We went zip lining, which for me, if y'all know me, that is a huge thing. Like, I'm scared of heights to begin with. And we were like
terrified.
Monkeys in between trees zip lining.
We did that in Costa Rica. I was scared.
And then we also did whitewater rafting. So this particular day, we did the zip lining and the whitewater rafting. And in between the two, we literally ate at this little place right on the river on like picnic tables. My husband's father was with us at the time too. He came with us, and we were so grateful for that.
Aww,
eating a biscuit, homemade biscuit that was this big.
Oh, heck yeah.
And I looked at my husband, kids,
yeah.
and father-in-law and said, "You know what? I could cry right now. Like, this is God's country, and this is the most magical time I have ever experienced in my life."
And it was with your family.
It was unbelievable.
Isn't
it was fantastic.
It's something, because here you are, and it's to stop and take in that
It was
moment
unbelievable. Yeah.
that you can still remember that love that you had in your heart, and you take that mental
Yes.
picture in your head to keep there.
Yes.
Yeah,
It really was. It was
totally.
unbelievable.
I totally agree. Well,
Yours?
mine, okay, this is, it was the year, actually, we ran into Traci and her group over on Green Turtle. Yes, so fortunate to have my cousin Janet and Steve in our lives. They have boats, multiple boats, and we have taken a couple wonderful trips over to the Abacos in the Bahamas, and just, the love that we have for them,
Yes.
being able to share with our family is invaluable, right?
Yes.
And so we took my father, whose family is from Man o' War. So they're actually British, they're Bahamian descent. My great-grandfather and my grandfather were born over there in the Abaco. So, but my father was born at Good Sam here in West Palm Beach, along with myself and my kids. So anyway, we wanted to take my father. He had not been back to Man o' War in many, many years, and he wanted to go see where his grandfather's grave was. So we didn't know if any of my father's family were alive, if they existed or anything. So we went by boat. It was a long trip. You know.
Oh yeah.
It's a trip, and it was a trip of a lifetime. But so we go, and you break it up between islands. Each day we did different islands, but my father was anxious to get there to Man o' War. And you pull up, Man o' War is a very small island, beautiful, beautiful.
They're known for their kite shop and things like that. The sailing shop.
Yeah, their handbags made out of old sails. They're known for those things, and their fishing industry and all, and their boat making. They are boat makers, ship makers, Albury boats. My great grandfather worked for Mr. Albury building boats.
Wow.
And so we go over, and there's this one teeny little grocery store and a little restaurant. We all went to this restaurant called Hibiscus, and we decided to go over with my father to the grocery store and walked in there and said, listen, this is my father. We said his name. His last name is Sands, which is a very known name over there. Sands Beer. My dad's not related. But anyway, so we go into the grocery store, and my father tells who he is and said, we just don't know if we have family here, and we want to find the cemetery. Can you tell us how to find the cemetery? And they said, go down the street. There'll be a man out on the corner laying in his lounge chair underneath the tree. He takes care of the cemetery. You can talk to him. No lie. So we rented a couple golf carts so we could scoot around and navigate around. We found the man, and the cemetery is out by the ocean, which is so beautiful, so cool.
Beautiful.
When we arrived at the cemetery, there were about 14 people there, and they were all family members. We never knew that they were there.
That is unbelievable.
It was just like, it's hard for me to talk about without crying, you know?
Yes, because it was just so much for your whole family. Yeah.
It wasn't my father, you know, and to see his grandfather's grave site and all of those things, and to meet family that we never knew we had. So from that moment, we were connected with them, and that's when I actually started Facebook. I'd fought Facebook for all the time, and I thought, no, because now we're very close to them.
I know you are, because they even came and stayed with you after the terrible hurricane.
Yeah, was it Dorian, I think?
In the Bahamas. They came and stayed.
Where one of them, her and her daughter, came over, and they stayed with us, and that was an experience because the rest of their family couldn't get off the island, and it was devastating. They made it through, but with some stories, which we'll have to do one of our episodes about the hurricanes we've all been through living in South Florida.
For sure.
But for sure, anyway, that was a great family trip. We have many great family trips. We do family vacation with my cousin Janet and her family. Her kids, my kids are very close in age. And honestly, they're all like brother and sisters. And we are fortunate. We've had many great family trips, but that one was special because of what it meant to my father.
Oh, for sure.
You know, my father is so special.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
To all of us. So that's my family trip, one in particular, and I think that's about where we are for vacation time.
Goodness, I mean, my gosh, we didn't even get into our girls' trips yet. Like, we're gonna have to do a part two vacation.
Part two coming up.
A definite part two vacation, because there's just so many things.
There is.
The moral of the story, like we said in the beginning, is what I'm taking away from this whole episode are three things. One, family first. Do it. I don't even, like I say, it can be a day trip to the beach.
Yes.
Whatever, spend time with your family. Number two, Spend time with your significant other, partner,
Yes.
husband, wife, and make it a point.
Yeah, and find the funny in it. Find
Make
the
it a point.
love in it.
Make it a point. And
Make it a
3,
point.
it doesn't, you don't have to make it extravagant. It doesn't have to be a trip out of the
No.
country. And it can
No.
be, snorkeling or taking your cooler on the beach and
making
making fun of
fun of
people.
people.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's always a good one too. Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, we really appreciate you all. We want to hear your funny vacation stories.
Yes.
It's coming up. This is going to air after, so we
Yeah.
sure hope everybody had a great holiday weekend and enjoyed your
Stay
families.
safe. Yes.
And we will see you in about another week.
Yes, and we're gonna have a little spin on things coming up, so you guys got to be listening because we want to get some more interaction with our listeners. So we have a little spin and a couple little things coming up that you guys are going to want to hear about.
And we have a happy hour episode coming
Yes.
up. Another one, so I can't wait for that,
Not
of
me
course.
either.
So anyway, until next week, like, love,
Listen and share. Thank you.
and care. Don't forget to care.
Care.
Bye.
Bye.